For the second year in a row, students can expect to see months-long delays for their federal student aid application. I'm Samantha Walker, and I spoke with local students to see how these delays impact them. We'll have that story coming up.
Plus, the Arma, Kansas library aims to solve several issues it's facing, including mold and structural problems. And local conservation experts warn drivers to be extra cautious about deer this time of year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. For the second year in a row, parents and students can expect to see a delay for the free application for federal student aid form, better known as FAFSA. The current FAFSA opened in December of last year, causing concerns in form completion, aid reports, and award packages among students and colleges. KOAM's Samantha Walker spoke with students at MSSU to learn how they are handling the continuing delays.
It was so close to college that, from college starting, that I was just eager to get that information back.
The U.S. Department of Education has announced that the FAFSA form for the 2025-2026 school year will be open to students 2 months later than usual. This is the second year for FAFSA delays, which comes after the FAFSA Simplification Act in 2020 caused an overhaul of the previous federal aid system. The months-long delays caused lots of anxieties for new students. For Bella, an MSSU freshman, she received her tuition bill before even knowing how much aid she might get. She said the delays made her contemplate college altogether.
I was just really stressed out. I considered not going, but I feel like it's better that I did, and I'm glad that I did get the aid that I needed. But I definitely was really anxious for a long time, and yeah, it made my skin and everything flare up. I was just anxious.
For freshman students that I spoke with, they say it was frustrating to not know how much aid they were going to receive until almost when the school year started. They say they're not looking forward to this year's delays.
Kind of worried, just because, it's a lot of money. So to be that delayed is kind of stressful, not knowing that amount, getting so close to when I have to start college and classes and everything.
Some students are even trying to look on the bright side of these delays because they know there is nothing they can do.
That can be very frustrating, but it also builds anticipation, and maybe it's more exciting for them when they finally figure it out.
The Missouri Southern Financial Aid Office says it's important that students know FAFSA is different from school scholarship applications. Students new and returning need to fill out those applications in the fall, regardless of any FAFSA delays. They say their office is open to help students as universities and students alike deal with these delays. Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Financial Aid Department at MSSU recommends students fill out their FAFSA as soon as it becomes available. The priority deadline in Missouri is currently February 1st. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us with our first look at weather.
Temperatures are dropping now into the upper 80s across the region. 86 out in Joplin, 89 is still in Sedan and Yates Center. Still a little bit warmer out there, but we are going to drop down into the mid 70s, so it's a little bit better than the last couple of days. Now, mostly clear for us tonight. A couple of storms were firing off just west of Wichita, but we're looking good for the rest of the night. We've got a low chance for storms tomorrow. Very isolated storms in our northern counties, but outside of that, it's going to be a decent day, mostly sunny, hot and humid though. Temperatures still remaining in the mid 90s. Heat index values getting up to low hundreds, just at about 100 degrees. But like I said, isolated storms in the northern counties in the afternoon, but I'll have those details coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, the Missouri Propane Safety Commission is helping in the investigation of an explosion that destroyed a house in Excelsior Springs, Missouri. The incident happened late Friday afternoon. The explosion killed the 2 residents along with their dog. The massive explosion could be felt and seen for many miles. Now, the blast blew open the doors of nearby houses. No neighbors were hurt, although some reported damage to their homes. The Excelsior Springs Fire Department advises every homeowner to install a gas detector. We have an update on the health of 2 firefighters following last night's fire in East Joplin. Reports of the fire came in last night around 7:45 from a house at the intersection of 2nd and High Street. The flames had spread to nearby vehicles and a storage building, but was under control in about 30 minutes. No injuries were reported. 2 firefighters were transported to an area hospital for heat-related illness. At the time, 1 was released, but the second was admitted for further observation and treatment. He has since been released. The Arma Kansas Library hopes to upgrade its building and fix some structural concerns. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on that story.
It became a rather expensive adventure for the city itself.
The Arma City Library is more than just a library. It's a place where people in the Arma community go to access the internet, get food from the pantry, and find books, which is why they're trying to upgrade it to make it the best it can be.
For senior citizens as well as kindergartners in holding different programs for different age groups. It's a good communal point for people to meet, and we want to keep it that way.
In the past, the library building has had a mold issue, and as a result of removing it, they're now looking at a new concern, repairing the sheetrock and walls that were ripped out. Betty Lesson, the city clerk, says one of the causes of the mold was the age of the building.
The building, it's been there a long time. It was a bowling alley.
The library received a grant to upgrade the building, but it wasn't used because the cost of the repairs were much more than the grant amount. They even considered purchasing a new building, but the cost was out of the city's budget.
A new building, which if it had been before COVID, might have happened. But prices soared with COVID. And so in such, we the city could not afford.
The Arma Library has installed new LED lighting, and they're hoping to make more upgrades in the future, like making their door accessible for wheelchairs. Reporting in Arma, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The City Council will meet on September 3rd to decide on funding and how they will fix the walls in the library. The city of Pittsburgh gets ready for its annual Paint the Town Red celebration. The event marks the first Gorillas home game of the season and also gives businesses a chance to get in on the celebration by decorating their businesses with red and gold in this case. It's one way for business owners to give something back.
Me and my husband are both alumni of Pitt State, and we own a local business, and we're on Broadway now, so we decided that we should support the community, and with being in the Paint the Town Red pep rally area, we thought it would be a great way to give back.
This year's theme is City of Champions. Well, coming up, scientists search for answers as to why bird flu is spreading so quickly through dairy cows. Down, Set, Donate. That's the name of a new campaign by the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks to encourage people to give blood, platelets, and plasma. On Friday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., if you donate blood at any CBCO donor center, including the one in Joplin's North Park Mall, you'll be entered for a chance to win a Chiefs tailgating package worth more than $1,200. It includes a KC Wolf inflatable, a Yeti cooler, a portable grill, and a $250 Walmart gift card, as well as other Chiefs merch. You can learn more about the prize package on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, the bird flu is now spreading among cows. Researchers at a Department of Agriculture facility in Iowa are looking for ways to prevent an outbreak before it takes a toll on the dairy industry. Fox's Sue Guzman has more.
A small farm in central Iowa may be home to some dairy cows, but their milk is going to a lab instead of the grocery store, as researchers at a Department of Agriculture facility search for answers on how bird flu has ended up in other animals.
This avian influenza virus, which would normally stay in birds, has gone into more than 20 different mammalian species, more than 100 times in 2 years.
The virus has been found in various animals, from dogs to sea lions in recent years, but research at the National Animal Disease Center in Ames, Iowa focuses on how it has reached dairy cows. As the American Veterinary Medical Association reports, the virus has impacted 64 herds in the country since it was discovered in cows in March.
I think right now it's still an animal health problem. And this is just really bad news for dairy farmers in the United States.
Research shows the virus is likely spread between dairy cows by drinking raw milk from infected cows. But But scientists say more testing is needed to understand the spread between species.
We definitely need to consider some other avenues too. So kind of more of a traditional commingling, what happens between animals.
Researchers are also looking for ways to prevent an outbreak from spreading to more animals across the country, including a vaccine for calves to potentially reduce the risk of the virus even spreading to humans. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports multiple human exposures from infected cows.
And the first question we had was just whether their vaccine would immunize the cattle as a species. We're looking for those immune responses to the mRNA vaccine now.
Sue Gussman, Fox News.
Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later Missouri Southern football holds its first press conference of the season.
Well, it's been really hot the last couple of days. This past weekend, temperatures in the upper 90s, triple-digit heat indices. It's going to continue, unfortunately, for the next couple of days, but you can take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. The clear night ahead. Temperatures are still going to be above average in the upper to mid 70s, so slightly cooler than they have been for the last couple of days, but still hot and humid. We're going to be clear for the rest of the night, not expecting any kind of clouds or rain, but those temperatures are relentless. On Sunday, we got up to about 98, 99 out in the area, low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, and then today we got up to 98, 97 across the area. In some areas, maybe even a little bit warmer than that. So we've definitely seen these really hot temperatures for the last couple of days, and I know everyone's ready for those fall temperatures. And I'm here to tell you, Labor Day weekend, we're seeing temperatures drop down into the mid to upper 80s for the first half of the weekend. After a few showers on Sunday, temperatures drop even further to the lower 80s for the first half of the week. So Labor Day is going to be beautiful. Saturday, it's going to be pretty nice. Like I said, a few scattered showers on Sunday, which is bringing even cooler temperatures. So we're okay with the scattered showers. And then Monday, mostly cloudy, but it'll be a lot cooler than it has been. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the future track that we've got. Like I said, we've got a couple of chances of rain on Tuesday, but in the morning time, temperatures dropping down to the mid to lower 70s. You can see a cold front started to shift in. You can see that by winds blowing out of the south, and then you can see them blowing out of the north. However, it retreats, so we're not seeing any type of severe threat with storms tomorrow, but we may see a couple of isolated showers in those northern counties and then kind of spread to maybe an isolated shower even further south, isolated shower or two for the rest of the evening on Tuesday. This is happening late afternoon after about 4 p.m. Outside of that, not really expecting much else until Thursday. So you can start to see the cold front moving in. Now this is going to bring some storms to the area. We don't know if it's going to be severe or not. Likely only in a low to slight risk, level 1 out of level 2 out of 5. But those storms are going to be continuing to push south around 10 p.m. on Thursday. As they move in, more widespread rain chances continue for the rest of the day through Friday, and then clearing out by about 9-10 p.m., which unfortunately, it is Friday night football this Friday. We are getting those rain chances. We'll see. They might just be some showers later in the afternoon, might not interfere, but we've completely clear out by about 10 p.m. So the amount of rain that we could get for the rest of the week, we're seeing maybe 1/10 of an inch all the way to about 1.5 inches as a max. Now, we get a little bit closer, we may see cooler or more rainfall accumulation, but temperatures are dropping, and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. We can make it through this until it gets nice. Well, deer season is almost here, and if you plan on driving, especially at night, we have a few procedures to consider to keep you safe. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has the story.
Deer mating season is almost here, and if you want to be safe on the roadways, look out.
Missouri's deer population is doing well. We have a little over 1 million deer in Missouri. That's a lot of deer. And Joplin is no different. Joplin's deer population is doing well too. So that means that one of the things we have to be on the lookout for is when we're driving for deer crossing the roads. The peak time for this activity is October and November, because that's when the deer mating season is.
Conservation agent Francis Gillespie says if you encounter a deer in the roadway, swerving to avoid hitting it is a bad idea.
One thing you don't want to do is try to veer away from the deer, because that'll do two things. Could lead you into oncoming traffic, or it could lead you off the road into a situation that's worse for your vehicle and possibly for you than if you hit the deer.
Business owner Terry Swims is enjoying deer season, but he takes extra precautions when driving at night.
I do see deer at night, and I drive slower at night than I do in the daytime. I don't want to hit one, I don't want to tear up my vehicle, and I don't want to kill the deer.
When possible, when you're driving at night, keep your lights on high beam. That way you have a longer field of vision.
Although deer can be a hazard for drivers, the majestic creatures remain an exciting sight for community members to enjoy. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The Department of Conservation says Missouri's hunting permits and regulations help to keep the deer population under control. Well, coming up, the takeover of tennis.
When it comes to money, what's bigger than Taylor Swift? I'm Jerry Willis with Fox Business. I'll tell you after the break.
Kroger and Albertsons are fighting the FTC's attempt to block the largest supermarket merger in U.S. history. A federal judge in Portland, Oregon is hearing from both sides in a trial that's scheduled to last for 3 weeks. The FTC is requesting a preliminary injunction to delay the deal. Federal regulators argue the nearly $25 billion merger is anti-competitive and would lead to higher grocery prices for consumers. What may bring the most money to a city hosting a major event? Fox's Jerry Willis reports from the U.S. Open in New York on the economic impact of one of tennis's biggest tournaments.
Taylor Swift may be big, but she's got nothing on the sports tourism industry. We're here at the U.S. Open at the Billie Jean King Tennis Center, where over the next 2 weeks, well, a big part of the sports tourism industry will play out. It's a $52 billion industry. Well, that's last year. And despite inflation, people ponying up big to travel to these events. 200 million trips were made by Americans. That's double-digit growth over the previous year.
The sports tourism sector is currently growing at a pace that we have never seen before. What's driving that is parents, moms and dads participating in sport, making that cognitive decision to choose to spend their tourism dollars to go to different sporting events.
The U.S. Open numbers are eye-popping. The purse, $75 million. That's the biggest in tennis history, and $10 million more than Wimbledon. The event will pay $5 million in rent to the city of New York and hires 7,000 people to be employed here during the 2 weeks. Compare that to some of the other big events on the calendar. The Final Four in Arizona, its impact was $430 million. Vegas, the Super Bowl, was $1 billion. In fact, the U.S. Open here in New York will be the biggest on the calendar with $1.5 billion in economic impact. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
Up next, what these two sets of dinosaur footprints tell us about the prehistoric creatures' travels. We're learning more about how dinosaurs roamed the earth over 100 million years ago. Matching sets of dinosaur tracks have been found on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean. The matching footprint sets were discovered in Africa and South America. Paleontologists say the matching tracks show dinosaurs traveled along a type of highway before the two continents split apart. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. It's been 3 years since the U.S. military pulled out of Afghanistan, and the chaotic withdrawal is becoming a focal point on the campaign trail. Plus, lawmakers tour the site of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Today marks 3 years since a suicide bomber killed 13 American soldiers as the U.S. ended its war in Afghanistan. The horrific event is now front and center on the campaign trail as Donald Trump and Kamala Harris vie to be the next commander-in-chief. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, Trump is blaming Harris for the tragic exit from America's longest war.
3 years ago, it was chaos in Afghanistan as American troops withdrew from the country and the Taliban took back control. Amid the mayhem on August 26, 2021, an ISIS terrorist detonated a suicide vest outside Abbey Gate, where thousands of Afghans were trying to enter Kabul airport and flee their country. 13 American soldiers and nearly 200 Afghans died.
The Biden administration is 100% at fault for why my son lost his life. And now I look at the way our country is going, and I think this is not what my son died for.
We've been given no accountability whatsoever. Not a single person has been fired.
Monday, former President Donald Trump joined families of several soldiers to lay wreaths at Arlington National Cemetery. At recent campaign events, he has not held back from tying Vice President Kamala Harris to the chaotic withdrawal.
But she bragged that she would be the last person in the room, and she was the last person in the room with Biden when the two of them decided to pull the troops out.
President Biden and Harris released statements honoring the fallen. Biden said in part, these 13 Americans and the many more that were wounded were patriots in the highest sense. Harris said, today and every day I mourn and honor them. My prayers are with their families and loved ones, and added that Biden made the, quote, courageous and right decision to end America's longest war. President Biden is on vacation in Delaware this week, while Vice President Harris is in Washington today holding internal meetings with staff. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, the Trump campaign is casting fresh doubt on its proposed September debate with Democratic nominee Kamala Harris. Former President Trump today said he would rather have the microphone stay on for both candidates during the September 10th debate on ABC. This is the opposite of what his staff has asked for, requesting the candidates' microphones be muted as they were during the CNN debate with President Joe Biden. The former president also questioned whether he should even participate in the ABC debate, criticizing the network's coverage. A bipartisan task force toured the Pennsylvania field where a gunman tried to assassinate Donald Trump. A group of House lawmakers surveyed the grounds in Butler County, Pennsylvania, where Trump held a rally July 13th. They went on to the rooftop where the 20-year-old gunman laid in wait and ultimately opened fire, hitting Trump, critically injuring two rallygoers and killing another. Lawmakers said it was important to be in the physical space where the violence occurred.
The big thing for us being here today was to actually be on the ground, get familiar with the ground, be comfortable with the questions we were going to ask because of the way it was laid out.
I definitely took note today that there were a lot of lines of sight that appear to have been unsecured that day, that didn't have eyes on or that weren't secured, and certainly at this point a lot more questions than answers.
The task force has subpoena power as it tries to identify security failures. The panel has until December 13th to submit its findings, including any recommendations for legislative reforms. A bit later, some technological assistance for students.
Artificial intelligence could be the key to new learning plans in the classroom. I'm Jackie Ibanez with more straight ahead.
Well, it's been really hot the last couple of days. This past weekend, temperatures in the upper 90s, triple-digit heat indices. It's going to continue, unfortunately, for the next couple of days, but you can take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. The clear night ahead. Temperatures are still going to be above average in the upper to mid 70s, so slightly cooler than they have been for the last couple of days, but still hot and humid. We're going to be clear for the rest of the night, not expecting any kind of clouds or rain, but those temperatures are relentless. On Sunday, we got up to about 98, 99 out in the area, low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, and then today we got up to 98, 97 across the area. In some areas, maybe even a little bit warmer than that. So we've definitely seen these really hot temperatures for the last couple of days, and I know everyone's ready for those fall temperatures. And I'm here to tell you, Labor Day weekend, we're seeing temperatures drop down into the mid to upper 80s for the first half of the weekend. After a few showers on Sunday, temperatures drop even further to the lower 80s for the first half of the week. So Labor Day is going to be beautiful. Saturday, it's going to be pretty nice. Like I said, a few scattered showers on Sunday, which is bringing even cooler temperatures. So we're okay with the scattered showers. And then Monday, mostly cloudy, but it'll be a lot cooler than it has been. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the future track that we've got. Like I said, we've got a couple of chances of rain on Tuesday, but in the morning time, temperatures dropping down to the mid to lower 70s. You can see a cold front started to shift in. You can see that by winds blowing out of the south, and then you can see them blowing out of the north. However, it retreats, so we're not seeing any type of severe threat with storms tomorrow, but we may see a couple of isolated showers in those northern counties and then kind of spread to maybe an isolated shower even further south, isolated shower or two for the rest of the evening on Tuesday. This is happening late afternoon after about 4 p.m. Outside of that, not really expecting much else until Thursday. So you can start to see the cold front moving in. Now this is going to bring some storms to the area. We don't know if it's going to be severe or not. Likely only in a low to slight risk, level 1 out of level 2 out of 5. But those storms are going to be continuing to push south around 10 p.m. on Thursday. As they move in, more widespread rain chances continue for the rest of the day through Friday, and then clearing out by about 9-10 p.m., which unfortunately, it is Friday night football this Friday. We are getting those rain chances. We'll see. They might just be some showers later in the afternoon, might not interfere, but we've completely clear out by about 10 p.m. So the amount of rain that we could get for the rest of the week, we're seeing maybe 1/10 of an inch all the way to about 1.5 inches as a max. Now, we get a little bit closer, we may see cooler or more rainfall accumulation, but temperatures are dropping and that's all that matters.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, the Missouri Department of Conservation is tracking an invasive species of lizard in the Joplin area. They're asking for people to let them know if they spot this lizard. It's called an Italian wall lizard, and you might find it in the Wildcat or Civil Creek Glades areas. Now, the Italian wall lizards escaped from a Joplin area collector in the early 2000s. They're commonly seen in rocky habitats and on walls and building fountains.
Non-native species always compete with native species, and that's never a good thing. And in the case of Italian wall lizards, they can have multiple broods a year. They may have up to 3 to 4 broods per year. So they can multiply quickly. Also, they obviously aren't impacted by the weather. If they've been here since the early 2000s, whatever type of winter we've had, they've been able to survive that.
And if you're thinking, oh, new pet, slow down. As of this coming Friday, you could face misdemeanor charges for having one. The penalty is up to a year in jail and a possible fine of up to $2,000. Ouch. Well, coming up in sports, Missouri Southern football holds their first press conference of the season. Plus, Coffeyville High School football prepares for this upcoming season. Brock Baldridge brings us a team preview and more.
The opening week of the Division II college football season is finally here. The Missouri Southern Lions traveled to Midwestern State for their season opener on Thursday night. And well, this morning, the Lions hosted their first weekly press conference of the season.
I promise you, this football team has worked as hard as any football team that I've been a part of since I've been here. It's a group that has taken tremendous pride in getting better. It's a group that has come to work. Like I said, it's unmatched. There are a lot of guys with chips on their shoulders, a lot of guys that are out to prove something, a lot of guys that want to do something that's never been done at Missouri Southern, and we're excited to embark on that journey, and here we go.
We understand how to weather the storm, and our older guys understand what to preach and what to preach when, right? We've had instances in the past where, we've been young mentally, and I think we've grown a lot mentally, and that's going to be the best thing for us in a long season, especially in the MIAA.
High school football practices continue around the 4 states. Our next stop takes us to Field Kinley football in Coffeyville, and the Golden Tornado aim for their 3rd straight winning season. Field Kinley has posted similar numbers in back-to-back seasons. Coffeyville went 5-3 in the regular season, ultimately finished with a 6-4 record in both 2022 and in 2023. The Golden Tornado brings back a heavy senior class along with one of the top offensive linemen in the state, and Keaton Jones, who committed to Mizzou earlier this summer. Coffeyville opens up week 1 on the road in Towanda.
We're trying to win the SEK League title. We haven't got that one yet since I've been here, and it's been a while since Coffeyville has won one, Phil Kinley's won one. We want one so bad. So, but it takes us. We go in 1 week at a time. We can't look too far ahead and just get better 1% of what we're trying to do. And then after that, we're trying to bring a plaque home in the postseason. We've been close, and we just ain't been able to get it done. So it's time for us to get over that hump.
I think my expectations is to most definitely get past the second round this year. Hopefully, win a regional championship and a league championship, and just make it the best senior season possible.
We just need to really lock in during practice, Practice is really the biggest part of all of it, having energy all throughout the week, being ready on game day, and then actually bringing that energy out on game day.
The Kansas City Royals travel to Cleveland for a day-night doubleheader that is a makeup game from a rainout that happened back in early June. Kansas City has a good opportunity to make up some ground in the American League standings going up against first-place Cleveland. Big series for the Royals, who are on the road taking on Cleveland. Kansas City playing in 4 games in 72 hours, and, well, this is a good start. Royals beat the Guardians 4-3 in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Bobby Witt Jr. and MJ Melendez each homer in that game. So we go to Game 2 of the doubleheader. Cleveland leads 3-0, but Paul DeJong gets the Royals on the board in the second inning here. Long solo homer makes it a only 3-1 Cleveland lead. So the fourth inning, Royals lead 4-3. Daniel Schneemann hits a line drive over the wall, and that solo home run ties the game. It's now 4-4. We go to the fifth inning. El Capitan comes through. Salvador Perez gets the lead right back with his 24th homer of the year. Royals lead 5-4. Then in the sixth inning, Salvi with the bases loaded. Goodbye baseball. 457 feet away for a grand slam. Ties Frank White for the most in Royals history. Kansas City wins the game 9-4. So good day for the Royals. Also, the St. Louis Cardinals, they return to Busch Stadium tonight after the Cardinals coming off a successful series in Minnesota. Both of these teams are fighting for a playoff spot in the National League wildcard standings. Not the best night for the Redbirds, however. St. Louis loses that one 7-4 to the Padres in the series opener. So good night for Royals, who won both their games, and the St. Louis Cardinals will have to come back tomorrow.
It sounds like a record-breaking night for the Royals.
Record-breaking night for the Royals. Salvador Perez. 6 grand slams in franchise history. That's a lot. But back to football. Missouri Southern football. Thursday night home opener. I'm really excited to see what they can show to the table this year. I think this year, this will be probably one of the better teams they've had in at least over a decade.
Well, it seemed like they were starting to show some promise last year, too.
It was the best season under head coach Atiba Bradley. So I think this year we're really going to get a dose of what Missouri Southern football is all about. And, they haven't started 1-0 since 2013. So I think that's going to change this time around. That's just my prediction. So we'll see if that comes.
And are you excited for Friday night football?
I am excited for Friday night. If the rain holds, I'm not trying to say that.
Well, she said it should be gone by.
She said it should be gone. Okay.
It might just be a little bit here and there.
I shouldn't have said that.
It'll be good on every field that's playing a game. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. We're back with more news after this. Embracing artificial intelligence in the classroom could be the key to improving how students learn. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez in New York has more.
A new school year is underway for many students across the country, and some classrooms could soon feature an extra assistant. Teachers at some districts are dealing with large class sizes, making it challenging for them to provide one-on-one help for students.
The teacher is the one providing all the activity. The students are often in a very passive mode where they're sitting there, they're expected to absorb.
Bill Watson, a professor of learning design technology at Purdue University, says artificial intelligence could help to enhance teaching methods.
We need active learners, we need problem solvers, we need people who are creative, and that means we need a personalized learning experience for the students.
Using AI to create unique lesson plans could help students learn at their own pace, as well as help teachers manage each plan.
AI can really come in and be a powerful tool in tracking where every learner is, in serving the role as a tutor, an individual tutor.
Watson says many tools have changed how students learn, but implementing AI at schools could make the biggest impact of all.
If a student has questions, it can guide them towards the correct answers rather than just giving it to them. So AI really gives us a power that we've really not been able to leverage to this point to really transform the very nature of the approach to education that we use.
Watson also says there are still ways for AI to be used negatively, such as cheating. He says to curb that, it's important to enforce ethical uses of the technology. In New York, Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Well, coming up, we'll run through the new releases available for you to add to your home entertainment library. A new installment in an epic franchise. A famous orange cat and a Grammy Award-winning singer are among the new digital DVD and music releases available to add to your home library. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin runs down the list of what's new in home entertainment.
The box office hit Despicable Me 4 tops this week's list of what's new in home entertainment. The latest installment in the popular animated franchise follows Gru and the Minions adjusting to life with new family member Gru Jr. while facing off with a new enemy. The film is available to rent or own on demand and includes 2 Minion mini-movies, Benny's Birthday and Game Over and Over.
All right, let's find these ifs and kids.
John Krasinski's star-studded fantasy adventure If stars Ryan Reynolds and Kaylee Fleming as a father-daughter duo, helping forgotten imaginary friends from being abandoned forever. Furiosa! The high-octane prequel Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, stars Anya Taylor-Joy as a younger version of the post-apocalyptic heroine who fights to make her way back home against the warlord Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Tom Hardy star in the 1960s set drama The Bike Riders, about the rise and fall of a Midwestern motorcycle gang. Small screen favorites to own, Chucky Season 3, which follows the murderous doll making a move to the White House, and the TV movie Monster High 2. For music fans, multi-Grammy nominated band Foster the People are back with their 4th album, Paradise State of Mind, their first new music in 3 years. Josh Turner's 10th album, This Country Music Thing, features 11 new songs. And Post Malone's debut country album, F1 Trillion, features A-list collaborations, including Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton, and Luke Combs. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of a penguin at the Perth Zoo in Australia. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.